In this video, we're going to talk about how to apply oil pastel to your self-portrait. Now, previous to this, I thought about what my facial expression was showing. I thought about it's kind of showing disgust, it's showing a bit of like, ooh, like what is that? And I thought to myself, what color would look good with that? So I just thought if I was disgusted, I thought of actually the movie Inside Out, and I chose green. That's what I was thinking. For some of those dark shadows, instead of choosing black, I chose the complement of green, which is red. And you can see it did kind of make it pretty dark there with just those two colors blending. So at the moment I've done my nose, I can always go back over this in a little bit and make it smoother, but I'm going to move on to my eyes. So I'm going to do my left eye here, and if you can see, I have some dark areas, some really dark areas, some shadows around there, and then also some highlights. I'm going to start with like just a middle value to get some pastel on there. Add some dark in those areas. I went with a smoother type of technique, just imagining myself as being a human, but then just kind of washing over with this green feeling, not necessarily anything exciting, it just happened. All right, so I have my basic layer there. I can come back in now, start adding a couple other layers and having the pastels start to blend themselves. Going right up to that eyebrow, helping that edge become nice and smooth. In comparison to the rest of this area, my eyebrow is pretty dark, so I'm going to bring some of that complement in and make it pretty dark. So I'm going to add a little bit to it. And then I'm going to go over it again with my dark green. Alright, so see how that's nice and rich now? Same thing over here, the center of my pupil and the outside of my iris, pretty dark, so I think I'll just take my time and a little bit of color around there. Alright, I'm constantly going back and forth and looking at my picture versus my drawing and seeing like what could be improved. I see a little bit of a shadow there, and add a little bit of darkness coming up a bit. You can kind of switch over your pastel and use the sharper side if you wanted to for some of these small details, or you can just, come back in a little bit later. I do see a little bit of a shadow on my eye between the bottom and the top. So while I'm going to add some white in here, I'm also going to add some of that light green as well to hint at a bit of a shadow happening. See some darker area here, and then I'm not going to worry about those tiny details until like the very end. I could even take my pencil or something and come back in there and make more of a eyelash design or a iris design. Blend this in a little bit more so it doesn't stick out quite so much. Looking right here, I have a lot of highlight happening there. I'll come back in with some light pastel. And then kind of blend that into that darker area. I have my nose now, comparing the two. Seems like it's a little dark there, so maybe I'll come back in and kind of blend that green away a little bit. So there's definitely more work to be done in this eye, but it's just a process of getting into it and actually doing it. If I wanted to add details with my pencil, I could come back in once I'm pretty comfortable with it and actually add in some of those minor details. That's fine if you're somebody who really wants to do that. Some smaller details. My eye, if I can zoom in. Okay, so you can get some of those finer details. Maybe the thicker pastel just won't quite do. Obviously, this is a very tiny bit of detail with the pencil. We want the majority of it to be done with your pastels. All right. So since I have a smooth technique happening here, I would continue the rest of the face, the hair, the clothing with that smooth technique as well as the background. All right. Good luck. Thanks for watching.